functional bodybuilding coach and physical therapist. Today we're going to go through a full body mobility routine. We're going to start with some neck circles. So you can do it in a kneeling position, seated position, standing position, whatever's comfortable for you to start with. We're going to start by bringing our chin to the chest, folding my head forward. I'm then going to scrape my chin along the chest, rotating to the side. I'm then going to start to look up and back behind me, and then rotate towards the other side, bringing my chin back towards the chest and scraping along the front. Okay, I'm going to go that same direction. We're just going to do about 3 on each side in that nice big circle. Really trying to get as much comfortable range of motion as you can. Okay, finishing up my third, and I'm going to switch sides. Chin is still towards the chest. Rotate, bring it up and behind, and then scrape my chin along the chest on the opposite side. Keep that direction going, nice and slow and control. Try to relax your shoulders down through this stretch. And I'm going to go one more. Okay, we're going to keep working on the spine. Now we are going to go into the kneeling position if you're in a different position. I'm going to show you this one from the side so you can see a little better what's going on. I'm going to start by just giving myself a nice big hug. And then from here, I'm just going to start in a nice rounded position. So my back is rounded, my head is tucked. I'm in spine flexion, trying to flex as much as I can. Now from here, I'm going to start at my tailbone and move one vertebra at a time up the spine, going from my flexion position currently into an extension position. So again, give myself a hug. I start at my tailbone. And I start to move up, slow and control, into this extension position until I'm pushing my head back, extending my spine as much as I can. Again, I'm going to go back to that tailbone, and now I'm going to start to tuck under to go back into flexion. So my tailbone tucks. I then start to round back into my flexion posture. Okay? This might take you a couple tries to get used to if you haven't done the segmented cat-cow before or some of this segmented movement before. But just keep trying. You'll get better and better as you work on this one. So again, I start, I'm in a flexion position. My pelvis moves first, my low back. I start moving into extension. And then I lift my head and upper back all the way back into this extension position. Okay, starting at my tailbone again. I flex, round down into this flexion posture, and we're going to go one more. Starting with the tailbone and the low back, and then arching all the way up. And I'm going to finish back in my flexion posture, starting with the tailbone, one vertebra at a time, all the way down. Okay. If this is your first time doing that one, do a couple more reps just to get used to that position or used to that movement. Okay, we're now going to grab a band or a PVC pipe, whatever is available to you, and we're going to do our shoulder pass through. I'm going to stay in this kneeling position. Again, you can go in a standing position if it's more comfortable, but I'm going to stay in my kneeling position. So arms are going to start at the side. I'm going to bring my band all the way up and over, stretching through into this back position. Bringing it back around. We're going to just go 10 back and forth. Nice and easy. Start with just an easy position, something that's comfortable for the shoulder. And then as you do more and more of these reps, as we get closer to that 10 rep, you can just go a little bit closer with that band or a little bit closer with that PVC pipe, just to be a little bit more aggressive through the shoulders. I am letting the band stretch me out, but I'm not losing control the whole time. I'm still keeping a little bit of tension in the arms, in the shoulders, so that I can control this circular motion. Do a couple more reps. And we'll go one more. All right, we're gonna move that band or PVC pipe to the side. From this kneeling position, we're gonna bring the elbows right in front of the knees. So I'm in this closed or sort of tight position, similar to child's pose, but the elbows tucked in instead of out in front of you. From here, I'm gonna bring one arm to the back, and now I'm gonna rotate through my spine, lifting my shoulder up towards the ceiling as high as I can. Check in, make sure that elbow is still on the ground, and then I'm gonna bring it back down. Okay, I'm just gonna do 5 on this side, rotating up, bringing it back down, getting as much rotation through my spine as I comfortably can. Go 2 more on this side. 1 more. And then we're gonna switch side. Elbow goes in front of the knee, arm goes behind the back, and then lift the shoulder up as high as I comfortably can, and back down. Lift the shoulder up, rotate through the spine, and bring it back down. About 3 more on this side. And 1 more. And relax out of that position. Okay, we're gonna go into our yoga push-up next. So you see these a lot in some of the persist tracks, but we're gonna do a yoga push-up. We're just gonna do 5 very slow and controlled reps. So I'm going to start in my downward dog position, like so. I'm gonna sweep through the bottom, keeping my chest close to the ground as I sweep through, but not touching the ground. And then I'm gonna go into my up dog position. Hold here for a second. Really stretch out through the front, through the hip flexors, through the abs. And then I'm gonna go back to my down dog position. Okay, again, body comes close to up dog position. And then I go back to my down dog position. Slow and control, we're gonna do 5 reps total. Go 2 more. And 1 more. Down dog, stretch it out. And ease out of that position. Okay. Next one, we're gonna do sort of a squat position, but instead of your normal squats, obviously where you're just resting on your feet, we're gonna use our arms for a little bit of support. So I'll show you from behind what I mean. So this is sort of, my feet are in my squat position, my knees, my hips, all in my squat position. My hands are gonna be resting behind my back, okay? From here, I'm then gonna rotate both legs to one side, like a windshield wiper or like a shin box switch. And then we're gonna keep going back and forth, stopping in the middle in that slight squat position. So arms are behind the back, I'm in my squat position. I'm gonna just rotate, sort of windshield wiper my legs to the side. And then I'm gonna come back up to the front, back to my squat position, and then windshield wiper the hips or the knees to the side. Back up to my squat position, and then windshield wiper to the side. Okay, as you get more and more comfortable in this position, see if you can just keep bringing yourself up a little bit closer to that full squat position. So you may start hands a little bit farther back, looking more like a shin box switch, and then as you get more and more comfortable, you can move to that full squat position, okay? We're gonna do about 10 on each side, just holding for a second on each side, and then just holding for a second in the middle. Okay? Again, if you get good at this, you get comfortable in this position, You might not even need to use your hands. You can kind of just take the hands off the ground, slow and control, maybe just a little guidance from the hand, and then back up to that middle position. A little guidance from the hand, windshield wiper in my legs, and then back to that middle position. Switch sides. It's a nice little flow from side to side. Okay, I'm going to keep using my hands for a little bit of support. Keep getting comfortable in the squat position. This will be a nice little warm up for the hips for our next couple drills. Okay, using side to side. And we're going to just go a couple more on each side. Okay, one more on each side. Okay, hopefully that loosened up the squat position just a little bit. We're now going to go into our squat position and work on a little bit of hip internal and external rotation. If you struggle with the squat position, I would suggest putting something under the heel to make this squat position just a little bit easier. You can even hold on to an object in front of you, some sort of stationary object, if that makes this squat position a little bit easier for you. But we're going to be holding in the squat position probably for about a minute. So we're going to come down into our squat position. From here, we're just going to move the hips in and then out. Just a small motion, in and out. Okay? In and out. In and out. As I'm going in and out, we're going to do about 10. Keep trying to sink that butt lower and lower, getting more and more comfortable in this squat position. Again, if you want, you can hold on to some sort of pull, maybe like this, or maybe the squat rack, something stationary that you can really just sink into this stretch position. Or like I said, you can put something under the heels, make it a little bit easier for you. But I'm just going to keep going here, in and out. Let's do about 10. Okay, take just a quick break out of that squat position. We're going to do one more drill in that squat position. So we just worked on the hip rotation in that squat position. We're now just going to move the spine a little bit in this squat position. So again, go back down into that squat using the same assistance that you were using on the last drill as needed. I'm going to grab onto one ankle and then I'm going to reach my other arm up towards the ceiling. Hold for a few seconds. I'm then going to switch. Grab onto the ankle, reach up towards the ceiling. We're just going to do about 5 on each side. Keep sinking that butt down towards the floor. Getting more and more comfortable in that squat position, the more time we spend in it. We'll go one more on each side. Okay, just bounce a little bit in that squat position, nice and comfortable there after all that movement in the squat position, and then we come out. We're gonna go into a Cossack squat next. So from our position similar to our middle split, we're gonna go through our Cossack squat. So during my Cossack squat, my feet are gonna be turned out just slightly. I'm gonna shift my weight towards one side. As I do that, just check in, keep the knee in line with the toes. And then I'm gonna switch over to the other side, okay? Keeping knee again in line with my toes. If this position is challenging for you, you can hold on to a stationary object in front of you, similar to what we did for the squat. You can also elevate those heels onto a little object, just to make this position a little bit easier, okay? I'm just gonna keep transitioning side to side. I'm gonna do about 5 on each side. If you want, you can bring this back foot off the ground, make it a little bit easier on the adductors here. If you want a little bit more aggressive of a stretch through the adductors, keep that foot on the ground. A few more on each side. One more on each side. And come out of that position. Okay, we're gonna work now, instead of going side to side, we're just gonna do a little bit more front and back stretch. So in a very long lunge position, like so, almost like a front split, but a little bit more control, not quite as deep. This is just a very long split squat position. And from here, I'm just gonna kind of gently pulse up and down, stretching through this back hip flexor, even stretching a little bit through this front hip. We're just gonna hang out in this position, about 30 seconds on this side, and then 30 seconds on the other side. Okay, ease out of that position, and then we're gonna switch sides. A nice deep split squat position. Stretching through the back hip flexors, stretching through this front hip a little bit, just sinking into this nice deep position. If this looks a little bit too deep for you, you can always just bring the feet a little bit closer, and again, still finding that same stretch position, just a little bit more for your comfort. Okay, we'll just finish out these 30 seconds. A couple more exhales. And then ease out of that position. Okay, one more stretch for today. We're gonna do a forward fold with a little bit of rotation from side to side. So I'm gonna just bend forward, stretching through my posterior chain as much as comfortably possible. If you can't reach the ground, that's okay. Just go as low as you can. And then you're gonna turn towards the side. If you can reach the ground, you can kind of pull yourself to the side, hang out in this position, and then pull yourself to the other side and hang out in this position, okay? We're gonna go about 5 on each side. As we keep walking side to side, keep trying to sink lower and lower. Relax through that low back, relax through that posterior chain. Keep those knees straight. Keep sinking deeper and deeper, trying to get that head closer and closer to the ground. Just walking side to side. Just one more on each side. And then ease out of that position. Okay, that's the full routine for today. If you like some of those stretches, try to incorporate them a little bit more through your day-to-day.